The lightning that struck the same tree twice. On the self as recurring strike. In a field at the edge of a village, an old oak stood alone. It had been there longer than the village. The village had grown up around it. The villagers had, over the years, tried to use the oak for shade, for a meeting place, for the hanging of a swing for the children, but the oak had a kind of stillness that made these uses feel small. The villagers had stopped using it. They simply let it stand. In the summer of a certain year, lightning struck the oak. It was a clear summer. There had been no storm. The villagers had been working in the fields in the afternoon when a single bolt had come down out of an almost cloudless sky and struck the top of the oak. The oak had not split. It had only burned a little at the top, and then the burning had gone out, and the oak had stood as before with a black scar at the top. The villagers had marveled. They had said, "That will not happen again." They had told their children. They had begun to mention the oak in conversations with travelers. 6 weeks later, lightning struck the oak again. It was, again, a clear sky. There was no storm in the province. A single bolt came down and struck the top of the oak in the same place as before. The oak again did not split. It burned a little. The burning went out. The villagers were no longer marveling. They were afraid. They sent for a priest from the next town. The priest came. He stood under the oak and looked up at the black scar. He shook his head. "This is not lightning," he said, "or it is not only lightning. Lightning does not strike the same tree twice in a clear sky. Something is using the lightning. Something has chosen this tree." "What can we do?" said the elder. "I do not know," said the priest. "I would not be in the field when the next strike comes." He left. The villagers stayed out of the field for a year. In the second year, the strikes did not come. The oak stood. The black scar at the top weathered. The villagers began cautiously to use the field again. In the third year, on a clear afternoon, lightning struck the oak a third time. The villagers, by then, had stopped trying to explain it. They had also stopped being afraid. They had instead begun to feel something more like respect. The oak had been chosen, for whatever reason, by something that came down out of the sky. The choosing had not killed it. The choosing had marked it. The oak was, in some sense, holier than other trees, though the village did not use the word holy about a tree. A child, in the village, asked the oak why it had been struck. The child was not afraid. Children are not afraid of trees that have been struck 3 times by lightning, because children have not yet learned to be afraid of those things. The oak answered. It said, "I am the only tree in this field that has been waiting." "Waiting for what?" said the child. "For the lightning," said the oak. "I cannot tell you what the lightning is. I can only tell you that the lightning has been coming in this field for as long as there has been a field. The other trees are busy being trees. They are full of their own work. They do not have an opening at the top. I have an opening at the top. I have had one since I was young. I do not know why. The lightning comes to the opening. It is not coming because of me. It is coming because I am open. The strike is the meeting between the openness and what comes down. The other trees would be struck too if they had the opening. They do not. The opening is the precondition. The strike is the gift." "Will it come again?" said the child. "Yes," said the oak. "It will come again. I do not know when. I am ready. I have nothing to prepare. The being ready is only the staying open. The strikes do not damage me. They mark me. I would not trade them. I would not be a tree without them. I am in some sense made by them." The child told her grandmother. The grandmother said nothing for a long time. Then she said, "Some people are like that oak. Most are not. Most of us, when we have been struck once close, we become other kinds of trees. The oak does not close. The oak is what the lightning has shaped by coming and coming over many years into the same opening. Whatever you do in your life, child, do not close after the first strike. You will not be an oak if you close." The girl remembered the conversation. She did not close. She was struck in her own life by various lightnings, none of them ordinary, none of them comprehensible, all of them, in some sense, the same lightning. She bore the strikes. They marked her. By the time she was old, she had a quality the villagers came to recognize, of being the kind of person who had been struck repeatedly by something larger than herself, and who had not closed. The oak still stood when she was old. It had been struck 2 more times in her lifetime. The black scars at the top were now a kind of crown. The self is the lightning that comes down out of a clear sky. It strikes the one with the opening at the top. It strikes the same one again. It is not damaging, it is marking. The work is not to close after the first strike, most close, the few who do not become oaks. The strikes are the making of them.